Lo and behold, most marketers don't advertise on the news. And why do they do that? Because somebody told them not to.
I'm Stephanie Paterik, editor-in-chief of The Current, and we have a really exciting guest in the studio today, somewhat of an advertising legend. Mark Penn is CEO and chairman of Stagwell, one of the large holding companies. I'm so happy for you to join us today during Cannes.
Thank you. Thank you for calling us one of the large holding companies. We're still the smaller coming up holding company, or what we call the challenger company, but certainly a far cry from what we were when we first met in 2018 or 19.
Yeah, you've grown a lot over the years. I'm curious, mentioning the fact that you're a challenger brand at a time when it seems like the big holding companies are getting bigger and we're seeing mergers and acquisitions. How do you gain share in this marketplace?
I think this is a great opportunity for us to gain share. The behemoths are becoming even bigger. They're having lots of conflicts that cause them to exit clients. They're having leadership challenges. I think this has actually proven to be a great time to be a challenger in a market that really hadn't been penetrated for 40 or 50 years. Last quarter, we had $130 million of net new business, which was a record by far.
I know a big question on creatives' minds right now is, will the advertising industry be able to preserve human creativity going forward as AI and other factors rise? What is your outlook there?
Oh, I think in general, human creativity will rise to its next level. I expect that AI will do what technology always does. It takes the most routinized jobs out, and then it preserves the best and most interesting jobs, particularly those high-level creative jobs. And in fact, it makes them even more important. As I like to explain, it's like when they invented talkies, they didn't go back to, oh, wow, we can make great silent films now. They kept moving, and then they got to color, and then they got to Star Wars and Pixar. And so creativity is going to edge up here. Creatives are going to have unprecedented tools and flexibility in the images that they can create at a low cost. That doesn't mean that creativity will be gone. In fact, I think there'll be a premium for creativity, and that's why we've continued to invest in creativity at Stagwell.
And it's interesting too, with agencies on a billable model, there might be things that used to take a long time. It's not going to take as much time anymore. Are agencies feeling the pressure to then kind of go above and beyond those mundane tasks and add value in new ways?
Well, I think that's right. I think that we also have to look at new business models, right? Mm-hmm. So how do we charge for the combination of technology and creativity that we're bringing you, right? How do we value price what we're going to do? After all, we can't have an auction like Google and Facebook can have, right? So we're going to have to kind of look at, how we charge and how we incorporate the bundle of services appropriately. And if production is being done by AI, it still is a cost. It may be a reduced cost, but it's still got to be in the bill.
It raises some interesting questions about how we value creativity. Something, Mark, I've been so impressed with is how Stagwell has really taken a stand for journalism. I know that you're standing up a news network, and I'm curious, as an agency leader, why do you care about this?
Well, it really came back from the history of my experience, both all the way back to college newspapers and kind of a soft spot for journalism and political campaigns. And so an active involvement with news and news organizations. And just my discovery, lo and behold, most marketers don't advertise on the news. And why do they do that? Because somebody told them not to. Because of some brand safety issue that their ad's going to appear in the wrong place. And what maybe was an idea, as I always say, like I'm sure Boeing wouldn't want an ad in the middle of a plane crash story. So, but outside of those very limited cases, this had grown into almost a news censorship regime. And so I realized that was wrong. And we could do our part to kind of break that down and provide good opportunities for clients to extend their advertising. I know with the Trade Desk, we have a news P&P now where we're bundling kind of news media so that we're making it in partnership with you even easier for clients to go into news.
That's right. With the News Navigator, people can basically turn on the news rather than blocking it.
Exactly.
Are CEOs and CMOs listening? Since you came out with research about a year ago that showed news environments are brand safe. Even what we would call bad news or negative news are still brand safe. Has that information moved the needle with decision makers?
I think it's beginning to move the needle. I think we just got the information out there.
Yeah.
I think we're getting broader receptivity. We're internally trying to tell our clients, look, spend a minimum of 3% of news so that really you get to try and buy it. Look, when you think back to the day of newspaper, did anyone ever say that our ad shouldn't appear in the New York Times? Did anyone ever say, "Oh my God, our grocery ad can't appear in the Wednesday supplement because they have stories about the Ukrainian war on the front page"? Ludicrous.
Okay, Mark, one more question for you. I ask everybody this, and I'm very curious to know what your answer will be. What is your most unpopular opinion about advertising?
My most unpopular, I think, is that most ads are terrible.